family of the 5 UN agencies, UNEP, ILO, UNIDO, UNITAR, and UNDP. And these 5 has been, over the past decade and a little bit more, delivering together a UN partnership for action on green economy. And this joint work I'm going to present. Oh, which way? Yeah. PAGE was launched more than 10 years ago in 2013. It's been leveraging the joint forces and comparative advantage of the UN agencies, but also of multiple technical partners that have been working with us all these years. Initially, PAGE started as with the goal to support countries on upstream macroeconomic policy development and implementation towards green economic transition. Then, during and after COVID, PAGE supported a lot the green economic recovery work. During the first decade, in the heart of the PAGE work and the real central focus has been work in the countries, supporting governments on green economic policies, building evidence-based for green economic transition, building tools and planning instruments in support of countries' policy reforms. During these 10 years, of course, and we've been reaching now the portfolio in 22 countries as of today. During this period, PAGE accumulated really a very rich resource base of lessons, tools that we managed to implement, best practices, lessons, the champions across these 22 countries. And over the past 2 years, this work has been shifting a little bit towards using these networks, experience, resources to work at the global, regional, sub-regional level to drive the policy debate on green and circular transition using our network, building on the results. And we've been analyzing and reviewing the results of the PAGE during its first decade, and 2 years ago the PAGE strategy has been revised and actually streamlined around these 3 main themes or thematic directions: circular economy, green jobs as a lever for just transition, and sustainable finance. Basically, the work to redirect the financial flows from linear, unsustainable investments towards circular, green, just, and well-resourced. These 3 key pillars are still representing an integrated approach that PAGE has been taking in the countries and through our global policy debate. And now this is where we are now, the snapshot of our situation today. We work in 22 countries. All this work has been possible thanks to very amazing support, really, from our funding partners, largely the European Union and the member states. As Matthias mentioned, more than $100 million has been invested by the EU and the member states, including Germany and Sweden and Norway, Finland, Switzerland, and the Republic of Korea also joined this work in the recent years. However, the support from our funding partners has not been limited at all with this financial contribution. Actually, not less important has been the setting the standards, co-creation, and continuous guidance towards the PAGE strategy and revision of the PAGE strategy over the years. So it was really a co-creation among the UN agencies, our funding partners, and the 22 countries where we've been working. Now, as I mentioned, in the recent years, our work has been building a lot at the global, regional level around addressing knowledge gaps, raising or promoting the green and circular policy development through the global debates and capacity building. And this is just an example of the most recent global knowledge tools and analytical work on circular economy that PAGE has been supporting. The first is the new and updated modeling framework for circular economy pathways. This work has been led by UNEP, our colleagues, and it allows to assess economic implication of circular transition, understand the role of circularity in improving social, economic, and environmental outcomes, and deliver on NDCs. It provides evidence to guide policymaking in designing the circular economy policies across sectors. The second example is spearheaded by our colleagues in ILO, which is a global report on jobs in circular economy, and this is actually the first snapshot of the global baseline on circular jobs, and a tool to monitor and predict changes in the job market as we are transitioning towards the circular pathway. And another final example, which is just one of the recent, is the work spearheaded by UNIDO. It's a study that identifies key drivers and incentives for secondary materials markets. Page has been participating a lot and trying to influence the global dialogue and debate on green and circular economy, putting the emphasis on supporting economy-wide transition pathways and focusing on economic drivers of circularity. Over the past 2 years, we've been Page has been part of the discussions at the World Circular Economy Forums and Biodiversity Climate COPs, One Planet Networks dialogues, the HLPF and other large UN forums. The recent discussion on the Summit of the Future, for example, was focusing on how to make green transition just and socially acceptable. Our discussions at the International Conference on Finance for Development looked at how to build systemic resilience through fiscal planning towards sustainable growth. Our work and the partnership with CITRA and World Circular Economy Forums in 24, 25, and next year is already in the planning, has been looking at again how to secure just and fair transition and how to align circularity goals with the national NDCs and many other subjects. And this is just one of the flagship examples, is our strategic partnership with an engagement with the Coalition of Finance Ministers for Climate Action. We've entered into this partnership with the coalition recently last year, and helping the coalition to advance fiscal instruments for sustainability and meeting its climate commitments, really helping to shape the coalition's agenda and promoting innovative budget tools, finance tools that could be driving the circular transition. Page also supported the update of coalition's guide for finance ministers' role in driving climate action. And we really very much rely on this partnership to shift the needle in the financial and investment related debates. Over the past year, Page supported regional meetings of coalition in Uganda as well as in Philippines and elsewhere. But now, as I mentioned, in the heart of Page work always has been our support at the country and country level work. And this is our results or snapshot of the results in Africa, highlighting some of the regional champions of Page in this region. Page entered African cooperation with African countries in 2014, so it was one of the first cohort of countries supported, including Burkina Faso, Ghana, Senegal, Mauritius. And now we have 7 countries being supported. Rwanda has been the most recent addition to the Page family in Africa, joining in 22 and 24, finalizing the scoping study. There is a really variety of very diverse results in the sphere of green and circular economic policies, sectoral policies, evidence making tools. Just to give you a flavor, in Senegal, for example, Page informed sectoral and thematic reforms on green jobs, sustainable construction, waste management, green industry, and currently Page is supporting formulation of the National Ecological Transition Strategy and governance mechanisms for green investment. In Morocco, Page supported National Just Transition Assessment Model, sectoral diagnostic policy analysis on water management, work on green economy, learning assessment, and green finance and tax mechanisms for biodiversity integration into priority sectors. In Ghana, Page led the Green Jobs Assessment, which informed the Green Jobs Strategy, and also developed a number of policy tools that informed Circular Economy Roadmap and Action Plan. I already mentioned Rwanda that just joined Page, and the priority for our work there has been support implementation of the second National Strategy for Transformation and integrating green growth into priority sector plans. The really very initial results there include mainstreaming just transition and gender equality into NDC revision, building capacity and empowering women as champions in circular economy action, initiating climate budget taking, and the green jobs assessment. And just a little bit of a snapshot on South Africa, where again Page started to work exactly 10 years ago. Since then, supported green economy progress measurement framework, policy reform on green industry, trade, water, waste management. And just this year, we've entered into the second phase of Page support to South Africa at the request of the government. We're supporting Presidential Climate Commission on Just Coal Transition Forum and South Africa's G20 presidency. The focus is to support national just transition dialogues through G20 Energy Transition Working Group, support design of African Energy Efficiency Facility. Just a few months ago, we initiated a series of high-level policy dialogues between South Africa and Indonesia, for example, focusing on just transition in coal mining sector. And just last week, the fourth dialogue happened focusing on sustainable finance. But again, I think it's important to note that outside of Africa region, Page has also accumulated lots of lessons and tools that could be replicated usefully in your region. This is again just a very brief snapshot from our results. I just want to say that specifically on circular economy transition, Indonesia, Uruguay, India has been really our champions. Indonesia, Uruguay, Page helped develop the and now help implementing national circular economy strategy, or in Indonesia roadmap and action plan. In Indonesia generated lots and lots of sectoral policy work related to circularity in the food sector, waste management, circular economy in palm oil industry. So it's really a great resource for peer learning exchanges. In India, Page has been supporting SOPs for Center of Excellence Circular Economy, building on technology and innovation roadmap for circularity in textiles, and many more. Now, countries like Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Kyrgyzstan has been focusing on green blue finance tools, including the green bonds, the national green transition funds, etc. Countries like Cambodia, Thailand, Guatemala has been exploring sustainable budgeting instruments and approach. And all of this is available within the Page universe. And this is why, and this is my last, probably also mention Brazil, because it's also very recent and interesting experience actually. We started partnering Brazil end of last year at the request of the Ministry of Finance to support economy-wide ecological transition plan adopted in Brazil. And Page, with the leadership of UNDP, supported multi-sector modeling to understand, to conduct in-depth sectoral analysis and understand how the implementation of the ecological transformation plan will be translated into the major macroeconomic indicators in the country. And the modeling has actually proved that there is no conflict between the economic growth and the environment and climate policies. Implementation of ecological transformation plan would bring benefits or positive impact on GDP growth, on jobs, on per capita income, reduction in inequality and greenhouse gas emissions. The modeling has been so far done in agriculture, transport, electric energy and habitat quality sectors, but will be soon expanded to cover energy, forestry, and also then will be transitioned towards a macroeconomic model for scenario analysis. This type of work, especially when really requested and supported at the high policy level in the country, creates an important evidence base and can back governance plans towards circular policy reform. So now finally, and that's the last quick set of slides, with such wealth of experiences, we really feel that one of our main work streams for the next years should be the South-South and Triangular Cooperation learning, peer learning, and really driving the transition by example. And PAGE has been investing in both bilateral exchanges among its countries. For example, this summer we completed or supported bilateral exchange between Indonesia and China, focusing on circular economy and green finance. That was a bilateral study tour from Indonesia to China and vice versa. We've been also supporting a number of regional peer learning and South-South events, and we consider this great meeting as one of that. And I would like to highlight the, again, very recent, just May this year. Oops, sorry. I would like to highlight the first regional Green Economy Academy for Africa, supported in May, conducted in Morocco. It gathered more than 100 participants from 15 African countries, including, of course, the delegates from all the 7 PAGE countries in Africa, but also countries from outside of the PAGE family. And it's provided really a great space for both like online, face-to-face discussions on practical private-public finance tools, mechanisms, subsidy reforms, role of finance ministries and finance sector in enabling just and circular transition. This event also, we launched the PAGE Country Ambassadors Network, which is a network of champions from the PAGE countries that can bring their experience from their own countries to the outside world. And there are many more events like that. Now, this was my last slide, and I just would like to conclude saying that, first of all, we're very grateful to ACEA for providing us this space, and of course to all of our partners, UNDP, European Union and others who made this possible. And we really wanted to offer a collaboration for the next couple of years to work together with PAGE to look for the opportunities of bilateral, sub-regional, regional platforms, events, exchanges to support really South-South peer learning on circular transition. Thank you so much.